We have all dreamt it, haven't we? The big win, the lottery ticket that changes everything, the promotion that finally puts our name in lights. We tell ourselves, if only I had that, I would be happy. We chase after these grand prizes, believing they hold the key to a lifetime of joy. I've sat with so many people over the years, people who have achieved every single thing our society tells us to want. Rock stars with sold-out stadiums, actors with shelves full of golden statues, business leaders with fortunes beyond imagination. And, a surprising number of them have shared a secret with me, a quiet truth whispered when the cameras are off. It wasn't enough. The happiness they thought they were buying was fleeting, like a beautiful sunset that fades into darkness. Think about it. We see the stories all the time. The young musician who rockets to fame, only to find themselves lost and isolated in a world of excess. The entrepreneur who builds $1 billion empire, yet feels an emptiness no amount of money can fill. They reach the top of the mountain they were told to climb, only to discover the view wasn't what they expected. The initial thrill, the rush of success is undeniable, it feels incredible. But it is a feeling that fades. What is left behind is just you, the same person you were before but now with a bigger house and more complicated problems. This is the grand illusion we are all sold, that happiness is something you can acquire from the outside. This isn't to say that money and success are bad things, not at all. They can provide security, open doors to incredible experiences, and give us the power to help others in meaningful ways. The problem arises when we mistake these things for happiness itself. It is like confusing the beautiful ornate box for the precious gift inside. The box can be lovely, but it is the contents that truly matter. When we focus only on the external, on the things we can show off and count, we are missing the entire point. The true source of joy, the kind that lasts, is not found in a bank account or a trophy cabinet. It is found in a place much closer to home. The stories of those who have it all but feel nothing are a powerful lesson for us. They are a reminder that our relentless pursuit of more can often lead us further away from what we truly seek. They teach us that happiness is not a destination you arrive at once you have collected enough things or enough accolades. It is a state of being, a way of living that comes from within. It is about understanding that while the world outside can offer temporary excitement, the foundation of a truly joyful life must be built on something much more solid, something that cannot be bought or sold, won or lost. It has to be built inside of you. Have you ever noticed how quickly we get used to things? Think back to a time you got something you really, really wanted. A new phone perhaps, a new car, or maybe it was a new job. In that first moment, the feeling is pure exhilaration. You are on top of the world. You think, this is it. This feeling will last forever. But what happens after a week, a month, a year? The shiny newness wears off. The car just becomes the way you get to work. The phone is just a tool for sending messages. The incredible high you felt has settled back down to your normal, everyday level of feeling. This is a real phenomenon, something psychologists call hedonic adaptation, or, as I like to call it, the happiness treadmill. This treadmill effect works for both good and bad things in our lives. When something wonderful happens, like winning a prize or getting a big raise, our happiness spikes. We feel incredible, but after a while we adapt. That new level of wealth or success becomes our new normal, and our happiness level drifts back down to where it was before. We are running and running on this treadmill, thinking the next achievement will get us somewhere new, but we often end up right back where we started. We just keep adjusting our expectations upwards, always needing a little bit more to get that same initial thrill. It is a cycle that can leave you feeling perpetually unsatisfied. The same is true, thankfully, for negative events. When we face a setback or a loss, our happiness plummets. It can feel like we will never be happy again. The pain is raw and all-consuming. But human beings are incredibly resilient. Over time, we adapt to our new circumstances. We learn to live with the loss. We find new routines, new sources of meaning, and slowly, our happiness level begins to creep back up towards its original starting point. This does not mean the pain disappears, but it means we are not defined by it forever. We have an internal set point for happiness, a baseline that we tend to return to, no matter what life throws at us. Understanding this happiness treadmill is incredibly freeing. It means you can stop chasing after the next big thing, with the desperate belief that it will be the final answer to all your problems. It frees you from the idea that you need constant external validation to feel good. The treadmill shows us that true lasting happiness is not about changing our circumstances, but about changing our relationship to our circumstances. It is about learning how to raise our baseline level of happiness from the inside out, rather than relying on temporary spikes from the outside world. It is about finding a joy that is steady and resilient, a joy that does not depend on the next purchase or the next promotion. So, if life events, both good and bad, don't have a lasting impact on our happiness, what does? The answer is simpler and more profound than we often realize. It is not what happens to us, but what we think about what happens to us. Your mind, your perspective, is the most powerful tool you have for creating a joyful life. It is the inner compass that determines the direction of your emotional world. Two people can experience the exact same event, a rainy day, a missed opportunity, a critical comment, and have completely different reactions. One person sees the rain as a dreary inconvenience, while another sees it as a cozy chance to read a book. The event is the same. The thoughts about it are everything. Our minds are constantly telling us stories. They are narrating our lives, interpreting every interaction and event. If your inner narrator is a critic, constantly pointing out flaws and focusing on what is wrong, then your life will feel like a series of failures and disappointments. You will see insults where none were intended and obstacles where opportunities lie. This is because our thoughts directly influence our feelings. A negative thought pattern will inevitably lead to feelings of sadness, anxiety, and anger. We are living in the world our thoughts create, and if that world is colored by negativity, then our experience of life will be negative too. You are the author of your own story. The good news is that we have the power to change this. We can become more aware of the stories our minds are telling us. We can learn to question the negative thoughts that arise automatically. Is that thought really true? Is there another way to look at this situation? By simply stepping back and observing our thoughts instead of blindly believing them, we take back control. This is the practice of mindfulness, of being present with our own mind. It is about shifting your perspective intentionally. Instead of focusing on the one thing that went wrong in your day, you can choose to focus on the 3 things that went right, no matter how small. This simple shift can transform your entire experience. This is not about ignoring reality or pretending that bad things do not happen. It is about choosing where you place your focus. Life will always present challenges. There will be pain, loss, and difficulty. But even in the midst of hardship, we can choose our response. We can choose to look for the lesson, to find the strength we did not know we had, to focus on the kindness of a friend. Your mind is like a garden. If you let the weeds of negative thinking grow unchecked, they will take over. But if you intentionally cultivate the flowers of gratitude, compassion, and optimism, you will create a beautiful inner landscape that can sustain you through any storm. One of the quickest ways to drain joy from your life is to start looking at what everyone else is doing. We all do it. We scroll through social media and see pictures of glamorous holidays, perfect families, and stunning career achievements. We look at our neighbor's new car or hear about a friend's promotion. In an instant, our own life, which might have felt perfectly fine a moment before, can suddenly seem lacking. This is the comparison trap, and it is a game that is impossible to win. There will always be someone who appears to have more, do more, or be more. It is a constant, subtle poison that erodes our sense of satisfaction and self-worth. The problem with comparison is that we are always comparing our behind-the-scenes footage with everyone else's highlight reel. We see the curated, filtered, and perfected version of other people's lives and hold it up against the messy, complicated reality of our own. We do not see their struggles, their doubts, their bad days, or the hard work that went into their successes. We only see the shiny end result. This creates a completely distorted picture, making us feel like we are falling behind in a race that only exists in our own minds. It shifts our focus from our own journey, our own progress, and our own unique path to someone else's. This act of comparing ourselves to others is a deeply ingrained human habit. In some ways, it helped our ancestors survive to see how they measured up within the tribe, but in today's hyper-connected world, it has gone into overdrive. We are no longer just comparing ourselves to our immediate neighbors, we are comparing ourselves to millions of people all over the globe. This constant stream of information about others' successes can trigger feelings of envy, inadequacy, and resentment. It makes us feel less than, even when we have so much to be grateful for. The joy of our own accomplishments can be instantly diminished by the news of someone else's bigger win. The way out of this trap is to consciously shift your focus back to yourself. The only comparison that is ever truly helpful is comparing yourself today to who you were yesterday. Are you growing? Are you learning? Are you kinder than you were last year? This is the only race that matters. Celebrate your own progress, no matter how small. Practice gratitude for what you have right now, in this moment. Unfollow accounts that make you feel bad about yourself. Remind yourself that everyone is on their own path, fighting their own battles. When you stop looking sideways at what everyone else is doing and start looking forward on your own path, you will find a sense of peace and contentment that comparison can never offer. When we seek wisdom on happiness, it's really impossible to ignore the profound and simple teachings of the Dalai Lama. He has spent, a lifetime thinking about the nature of human suffering and joy. His perspective is both deeply spiritual and, at the same time, incredibly practical. He teaches that the very purpose of our life is to seek happiness, but he makes a crucial distinction. He suggests that while we need a basic level of material comfort, what he calls wealth, meaning enough for our needs, not endless riches, and good health, these are merely the foundation. They are necessary conditions for happiness, but they are not happiness itself. They are the stage, not the play. The true source of happiness, according to the Dalai Lama, lies in our state of mind. It's really an internal achievement. He speaks of the importance of having a calm mind. This is a mind that is not constantly agitated by anger, jealousy, or overwhelming desire. A calm mind is a peaceful mind, one that can see situations clearly without being clouded by strong negative emotions. It's about cultivating an inner sense of serenity that remains steady even when the world outside is, chaotic. This inner peace is not something that can be given to you or taken away by external circumstances. It's something you must cultivate within yourself through practice and intention. Alongside a calm mind, the Dalai Lama emphasizes the critical role of human connection and compassion. He tells us that we are social animals, and our own happiness is deeply intertwined with the happiness of others. Cultivating warm-heartedness, affection, and a sense of responsibility for our fellow human beings is not just a moral duty, it is a direct path to our own well-being. When we act with compassion, when we help someone else, we experience a deep and lasting joy that self-centered pursuits can never provide. This connection with others breaks down the walls of loneliness and isolation that are so often the cause of our suffering. It is in giving that we receive. So, the Dalai Lama's blueprint is clear. Yes, take care of your physical health. Yes, ensure you have enough to meet your basic needs. But do not stop there. The real work, the most important work, is to train your mind. It is to cultivate inner peace, to reduce negative emotions like anger and jealousy, and to increase positive qualities like compassion and kindness. This is a happiness that is sustainable, a happiness that comes from a deep sense of purpose and connection. It's not dependent on the next purchase or the latest trend. It is a profound sense of inner contentment that is available to every single one of us, right here, right now. Desire is a fundamental part of being human. It's honestly the engine that drives us to get out of bed in the morning, to learn to grow and to create. A life without any desire would be a life without motivation or purpose. The key, however, is to understand that not all desires are created equal. There are healthy desires that serve us, pushing us towards becoming better versions of ourselves. And then there are unhealthy desires, the ones that enslave us, trapping us in a cycle of craving and disappointment. Learning to tell the difference between these two is really one of the most important skills we can develop on the path to happiness. Healthy desires are rooted in growth, connection, and well-being. The desire to be a good friend, a loving parent, or a compassionate member of your community is a healthy desire. The desire to learn a new skill, to read a challenging book, or to understand the world more deeply serves your personal growth. The desire to be physically healthy, to eat well, and to move your body is a desire that supports your life. These are desires that, when fulfilled, lead to a lasting sense of satisfaction and meaning. They are about becoming more, not just having more. They connect us to our values and to the people around us in a positive way. In stark contrast, unhealthy desires are often based on attachment, ego, and endless wanting. The desire for fame for its own sake, the craving for constant validation from others, or the insatiable need for more money and more possessions are desires that can never be truly satisfied. They are like trying to quench your thirst by drinking salt water. The more you drink, the thirstier you become. These desires create a state of constant dissatisfaction. The moment you get what you want, your mind immediately moves on to the next thing. You are trapped on that happiness treadmill, always chasing a feeling that you can never quite hold on to. These desires enslave you to the external world. The challenge is to be honest with ourselves about our motivations. When you feel a strong desire for something, a new car, a different job, a particular social status, ask yourself why you want it. Is it coming from a healthy place of growth and contribution? Or is it coming from a place of insecurity, envy, or a need to prove your worth to others? Unhealthy desires often promise happiness but deliver only stress and anxiety. They lead to a life of if-onlys. If only I had that, then I would be happy. Learning to recognize and let go of these enslaving desires is a profound act of self-care. It frees up your energy to pursue the things that truly nourish your soul. In a world that constantly screams more, the idea of contentment can seem almost radical. We are taught to be ambitious, to strive, to reach for the stars. And while ambition has its place, we have forgotten the quiet, steady power of its counterpart, contentment. Contentment is not the same as complacency or laziness. It does not mean giving up on your goals or settling for less than you are capable of. Instead, contentment is the ability to find peace and satisfaction in your life as it is right now, in this very moment, while still being open to future growth. It is appreciating what you have rather than obsessing over what you do not. This feeling of contentment comes from a deep sense of self-worth that is not tied to external achievements. It is the understanding that you are enough, just as you are. Your value as a human being does not increase with a bigger salary or a more impressive job title. It does not decrease if you face a setback or a failure. When your self-worth is internal, you are no longer dependent on the approval or admiration of others. You can pursue your goals with passion, but your happiness does not hang on the outcome. You are free from the desperate need to prove yourself, which allows you to enjoy the journey, not just the destination. Think of it like this: a life without contentment is like being on a boat with a leak. You can keep bailing water out as fast as you can, acquiring new things, chasing new thrills, but you will always be struggling just to stay afloat. Contentment is like patching the leak. It creates a solid, stable foundation of inner peace. From this place of stability, you can then navigate the waters of life with confidence and joy. You can still set sail for new lands and exciting adventures, but you are not doing it out of desperation. You are doing it from a place of fullness, not a place of lack. It is a fundamental shift from, I need this to be happy, to, I have all I need to be happy right now. Cultivating contentment is a practice. It starts with gratitude. Take a moment each day to consciously acknowledge the good things in your life, no matter how small. A warm cup of coffee, the smile of a stranger, the comfort of your bed. This simple act trains your brain to notice the abundance that is already around you. It means accepting your imperfections and the imperfections of life with grace. It means finding joy in the simple, everyday moments that we so often rush past in our quest for something bigger and better. Contentment is the quiet, gentle, and incredibly powerful art of being happy with what you have, while you pursue what you want. We often use the words pleasure and happiness as if they mean the same thing, but they are worlds apart. Understanding the difference is absolutely key to building a life of genuine well-being. Pleasure is a short-term sensory experience. It is the taste of a delicious piece of chocolate cake, the thrill of watching an exciting action film, or the feeling of buying a new pair of shoes. These things feel good. They provide a temporary hit of dopamine, a feel-good chemical in our brain. There is nothing wrong with pleasure. It adds spice and enjoyment to life. But pleasure is fleeting. The cake is eaten, the film ends, and the newness of the shoes wears off. Happiness, on the other hand, is not a fleeting sensation. It is a deeper, more enduring state of being. It is what we call well-being or contentment. Happiness is not about what is happening to your senses in this moment. It is about a more general and lasting feeling of satisfaction with your life. It is the quiet joy that comes from having meaningful relationships, a sense of purpose, and inner peace. I remember a story about a man who won the lottery. For a few months, he lived a life of pure pleasure. Fast cars, lavish parties, endless shopping. But soon he found himself feeling more lonely and empty than ever before. He had mistaken a life full of pleasures for a happy life. The pursuit of pleasure can actually become an obstacle to happiness. When we constantly chase the next high, the next thrill, we can become addicted to it. Our tolerance builds up, and we need more and more intense experiences to get the same kick. This can lead us down a path of consumption and sensation-seeking that leaves us feeling hollow in the end. It is like snacking on sweets all day. It might give you quick bursts of energy, but you will end up feeling sick and malnourished. Happiness is the equivalent of eating a wholesome, balanced meal. It might not be as intensely thrilling in the moment, but it nourishes you deeply and sustains you for the long haul. The key is to enjoy life's pleasures without mistaking them for the main goal. Savor the delicious meal, enjoy the beautiful sunset, appreciate the fun night out, but know that these are the sprinkles on the cupcake of life, not the cupcake itself. True happiness is built from more substantial ingredients: compassion, connection, gratitude, and meaning. It is the feeling you get after having a deep, honest conversation with a friend you love. It is the satisfaction of working on something you care about. It is the peace that comes from accepting yourself. Do not trade the deep, lasting warmth of the hearth for the brief, bright flash of a firework. So, after all this, where do we go from here? How do we take these ideas and turn them into a real, tangible change in our everyday lives? It starts with one simple but powerful practice. Before you make a choice, before you pursue a goal, before you spend your time, your energy, or your money, ask yourself one ultimate question. Will this bring me true, lasting happiness? This question acts as a filter, helping you distinguish between the fleeting desires that distract you and the deeper values that will actually nourish your soul. It forces you to pause and connect with what you truly want out of life. Let's make this real. You are thinking about working late every night for the next 6 months to get a promotion. Ask the question: will the extra money and status bring you lasting happiness? Or will the cost, less time with family, more stress, exhaustion, outweigh the benefit? You are about to make a big, expensive purchase. Ask the question: will this item bring you deep, enduring joy, or is it just a temporary thrill, a way to soothe a feeling of boredom or inadequacy? The answer will not always be easy, but the act of asking is what matters. It shifts you from being a passive consumer of life to an active, conscious creator of your own well-being. The final, most important truth is that the keys to happiness are already inside you. They are not in a store, in someone else's approval, or in a future achievement. They are in your ability to cultivate inner peace, to practice compassion, to feel gratitude, and to connect with others. They are in your power to choose your thoughts and to focus on your own growth. This is the greatest encouragement of all. You do not need to wait for your life to be perfect to be happy. You do not need to wait until you have achieved all your goals. Happiness is available to you right now, in this moment, by changing your focus from the outside world to your inner world. Your journey to happiness is your own. It will not look like anyone else's. It is a path of self-discovery, of learning to listen to that quiet voice inside you that knows what truly matters. It is about accepting yourself, flaws and all, with love and compassion. It is about understanding that you are worthy of happiness just because you exist. So I encourage you today to begin this journey. Start asking the ultimate question. Start choosing the path of inner peace over outer turmoil. Start building a life that is not just successful on the outside, but is deeply, truly, and lastingly happy on the inside. You have the power. You are the key.